At some point, your cat has brought you something dead. A mouse, a bird, an insect, something small and no longer living, deposited at your feet or left on your doorstep or placed on your pillow with a precision that felt almost deliberate. And your reaction, the recoil, the horror, the confused gratitude, was the exact wrong response. Not because you should have been pleased, but because what your cat was actually doing in that moment was something so specific, so revealing about how it sees you, that most people spend their entire lives with cats and never understand it. The dead animal on your doorstep is one of the most misread behaviors in the entire cat-human relationship. Most people assume it is a gift. Some people assume it is showing off. A few people have read that cats bring prey to teach their owners to hunt, and have accepted that explanation without examining it too closely. All of these interpretations are partially right, and mostly wrong. What your cat is actually communicating when it brings you a dead animal is something far more specific, far more layered, and far more telling about the nature of your relationship than any of those explanations suggest. Welcome to Cat Mind. Today we are going inside the dead animal, the evolutionary mechanism behind the behavior, what it reveals about your cat's assessment of you, why some cats do it and others never do, what the specific condition of the animal tells you, and what your response in that moment communicates back. Stay until the very end, because the last thing we cover is the one situation in which your cat brings you something alive, and what that means is something most people are genuinely not prepared to hear.
Point 1. Where the behavior comes from, and why it has nothing to do with showing off. The domestic cat is a solitary hunter. Unlike lions, unlike wolves, unlike most social predators, the wild felid does not share food within a group as a social bonding behavior. It hunts alone, it eats alone, and the prey it catches belongs entirely to itself. The domestic cat's closest wild relatives do not bring food to companions. They do not teach hunting to adults. The behavior your cat directs at you does not come from a generalized feline social instinct. It comes from one specific relationship, the relationship between a mother cat and her kittens. Female cats with young kittens go through a precise sequence of prey delivery behaviors as their offspring develop. In the earliest weeks, the mother hunts and returns to the nest to nurse. The kittens eat nothing solid. As the kittens develop, the mother begins bringing dead prey to the nest, pre-killed, ready to consume, requiring nothing from the kitten except eating. Later, she begins bringing live or partially live prey, wounded animals the kittens must practice finishing. The sequence is deliberate, calibrated to developmental stage, and represents the most intensive teaching behavior in a cat's behavioral repertoire. When your cat brings you a dead animal, it has placed you in the category of kitten, not as an insult, as the highest expression of care it knows how to produce.
Point 2. What it means that your cat sees you as a kitten, and why that is more complex than it sounds. The kitten categorization is not simple dependency. Research on cat-human attachment has established that domestic cats interact with adult humans using a social register they do not use with other adult cats. They meow at humans, a vocalization adult cats almost never direct at other adult cats in the wild. They need, a nursing behavior that in wild cats disappears with weaning. They seek proximity and reassurance in ways that mirror kitten-to-mother behavior rather than adult-to-adult feline social interaction. Your cat has not failed to recognize that you are a large, competent adult human. It has recognized that you are a large, competent adult human who nevertheless cannot hunt, who has never demonstrated prey-catching ability, who requires food to appear from external sources rather than producing it independently. From the cat's perspective, this profile matches one category precisely. You are a dependent who needs feeding. And in the cat's behavioral vocabulary, the appropriate response to a dependent who needs feeding is to bring it food. The fact that your cat does this despite receiving food from you, despite the evidence that you are clearly not starving, tells you something important. This is not a rational calculation. It is a relational one. Your cat is not feeding you because you need it. It is feeding you because you matter to it.
Point 3. What the specific condition of the animal tells you. Not all prey deliveries are the same, and the differences are meaningful. A fully dead, intact animal delivered to your feet represents the standard maternal provision behavior. Pre-killed food, ready to consume, requiring nothing from you. This is the most common form and the baseline of the behavior. A partially eaten animal is different. The cat has already fed and is bringing you the remainder, a behavior that in feline social contexts indicates resource sharing rather than dependent provisioning. You are being included in the meal rather than fed as a dependent. The distinction is subtle, but it reflects a different social categorization. A damaged but not fully dead animal,
something stunned, something still moving, is the most significant delivery of all. This is the advanced stage of maternal prey training, the stage reserved for kittens old enough to practice hunting. If your cat brings you something still alive, it has assessed you as ready for the next level. It is not tormenting you, it is teaching you. The fact that you consistently fail to catch or kill the presented prey, that you recoil, that you call for help, that you remove the animal without engaging with it, is information your cat receives and files. Most cats eventually stop bringing live prey to humans who consistently demonstrate they cannot handle it. They downgrade you back to the fully dead delivery. They have updated their assessment of your skill level.
Point 4. Why some cats bring prey and others never do, and what the difference reveals. Not every cat that hunts brings prey to its owner. The behavior is not universal, and the variables that predict it are not what most people expect. Outdoor access is necessary, but not sufficient. Many outdoor cats that hunt regularly never deliver prey to their humans. The key variable, confirmed across multiple behavioral studies, is attachment strength. Cats with stronger primary attachments to their owners are significantly more likely to engage in prey delivery behavior than cats with weaker or more avoidant attachment styles. This means the cat that brings you dead animals is not your most aggressive cat, not your most territorial cat, not your most predatory cat. It is your most bonded cat. The delivery behavior requires a level of trust that not all cats extend to humans. The willingness to bring a high-value resource into proximity with another individual, to share something that costs significant energy to obtain. A cat that is not fully committed to its attachment to you does not take that risk. The dead mouse on your pillow is, in the most precise behavioral sense, a declaration. Your cat has decided you are worth the cost of sharing.
Point 5. What your response communicated back, and whether it damaged anything. Here is the part most people find uncomfortable. Every time your cat brought you a dead animal, and you recoiled, screamed, removed it quickly without acknowledgement, or expressed clear distress, your cat received information about that interaction. It filed your response, and it has been updating its model of you based on those responses ever since. The ideal response, from the cat's behavioral perspective, is neither enthusiasm nor horror. It is acknowledgement. A calm verbal response directed at the cat, a brief moment of attention given to the animal before removal, a signal that the delivery was registered and valued. This is not about pretending to be grateful for a dead mouse. It is about understanding that your cat has just performed its highest social behavior, and the response it receives shapes whether it will continue to perform that behavior and how it categorizes your relationship going forward. Cats whose prey deliveries are consistently met with distress responses do reduce the behavior over time, not because they are punished. Cats do not respond to punishment in any meaningful behavioral sense, but because the distress response is aversive, and an aversive outcome attached to a social behavior gradually suppresses that behavior. Your horror, repeated enough times, taught your cat that sharing with you has a cost. So the next time your cat appears at your feet with something small and dead, the next time you find the mouse on the doorstep, or the bird by the back door, or the stunned insect placed with inexplicable precision on your kitchen floor, understand what you are actually looking at. You are looking at the highest expression of care in your cat's behavioral vocabulary. You are looking at a behavior reserved for dependents that matter, for kittens worth feeding, for relationships worth the cost of sharing a hard-won resource. You are looking at an animal that has assessed you, categorized you, and decided that you belong in the innermost circle of its social world, the circle where food gets shared, where teaching happens, where the full weight of feline maternal investment gets directed. The dead mouse is not a trophy. It is not a threat. It is not a random product of instinct with no meaning attached. It is your cat, in the only language it has for this particular feeling, telling you that you matter enough to feed, that you are worth the hunt, that whatever you are to each other, and you are something specific, something chosen, something that cost your cat something to commit to, you are not on the outside of its world. You are at the center of it, and the small dead thing at your feet is the proof. Tell me in the comments, what is the strangest thing your cat has ever brought you, and how did you respond? I read every one. I will see you in the next one. Cat Mind.